I remember that.
Hey guys, welcome to another iteration of the My Hero Academia Manga Chapter Reads. We are reading the new chapter that released 370. I'm here with Mark.
Hey.
And Mark, there's something we do before every new chapter reading. What would that be?
Recap episode! Bleh.
I'm gone. Y'all move.
Recap episode.
Okay.
It's time to read.
you whip up the manga.
I just whip it out.
It's time to
You see your eyes and turning pages. Do do do.
Oh my god. All right, we'll read or catch up on 369. It's been a couple weeks. Well,
Nice.
just a few. And yeah, 369.
And you're fine.
Something every time. Get low. Oh, I gotta close this door real quick.
Nuggies.
To the window.
Ta-da-wah.
So we we look at oh god, it's coming back up again. We got, oh my god, the second user. Did we remember what his name was, or was that
We
still?
still don't have a name.
But yeah, he's in a chokehold right now. All for one's crying up in the club. Remember?
Really got me crying in the club right now.
He was talking about how like everything you're doing right now, your quirk and whatnot, is just absolutely useless to me. And then just the second just kind of smiles, and then just shifts over to present day, and Deku's mollywopping him pretty bad. No wonder he's crying up in the club.
Oh yeah, because Izuku is absolutely beating the ever-living shit out of him.
This is where we find out that the elevated form for I'm sorry, what was the name of the quirk again? It wasn't transmission, it was gear shift.
Yes. Well, it was transmission, then they said gear shift, and then they said, okay, we'll just call it one or the other.
Interchangeable. This is where we find out that with the additional power going into the quirk, Deku is essentially able to land like 4 times the usual like attack. Great illustration for it too. Just like the smash.
Smash.
And Deku does not let up. Like all for sure, he's got like the gross arm, but it does absolutely nothing because, you know, even after reading all the moves, with gear shift, you can actually adjust your speed like at any given point, like completely neglecting lost physics or laws of
You can either
inertia.
go slower or faster. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So like even in midair, Deku can shift his speed. So it's like, oh.
As long as he's touched himself, then yeah. Not in that way, you dirty bastards.
I mean, anyway. Anyway, we got
As long it's whatever he's touched. So if he has physically touched per se his fist, he can make his fist go really fast or really slow.
people have a lot of questions about that. I'm not inclined to answer all of them. Core
can't be
concepts. Core concepts. What do y'all guys think about gear shift in certain applications? Nope.
How does it work on his penis?
Hey. That's dangerous.
That's some dangerous logic you're going with right there.
But Deku not only just like adjusts his speed in this state, but he's also like utilizing all the different quirks right now. He uses smoke screen to kind of cover himself up a little bit. Gives an opportunity to like get up like higher up, and then like use Black Whip to like reel him in. And then we got the cool like yet another cool illustration of Deku and everyone actually cocking it back, and we're like, whoa.
Get ready to throw it back.
And this is where the second user was pretty much saying that like this is the reason why like they're called quirks now. They're not meta abilities.
Quirky.
I don't know. It was sick. Got all the work put into them, and I believe this is where yeah, though it looked like it was over. It looks like we have one last thing like up of like all for one sleeve, many probably, but we then turn to Spinner, who's absolutely yoked.
That's what All for One gave him.
Mm-hmm. He gave him the yoke quirk.
Quirk yoke.
But that's pretty much it for 369. So going forward, now we are going to jump into the new stuff, 370. I'll go ahead and read the title real quick, but it's 370 History. As we get a flashback, words are just like popping up like in front like of these panels, saying "Die, monster! Stay inside the house, you heteromorph freak!" Oh my god, they're chucking rocks.
Racism.
You seriously? They'd be throwing some rocks here, like, so you brought dirty blood here. You tricked us. Jesus.
Yep, it's that kind of chapter, boys.
The land will become filthy, defiled. Go! Get out! No matter how much society progresses, we'll never accept you and your kind. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have like put like a disclaimer.
Disclaimer, racism.
Disclaimer, like, depiction, fictional racism. I feel bad for Spinner now. Jesus. We get a shot of him. Honestly, if you put this side by side by like with a Ninja Turtle, you wouldn't even know the difference. Well, actually, you would totally know the difference. Yeah, now we cut over to present day, pretty much at Spinner's front. As we get a little bit of narration here, turning the clock a bit to just after the battlefields received word of Dabi's defeat in front of the central hospital. They locked up Kurogiri, but we're gonna take him back. Kurogiri, the closest thing to a masterpiece of all the high ends within the bioengineered Nomu series. All for One learned that that very entity was held in this hospital. So okay, so they're out there trying to break him free.
You really think they'd keep him there still? I highly doubt he's still there.
Yeah. This is one of those cases like, well, it ends well. Hey, what happened to Kurogiri? He's just in the hospital.
Like, I would think that they would have moved him.
I think so too. But yeah, to continue, that entity was held in this hospital and sent Spinner, lieutenant of the Paranormal Liberation Front, to lead a small army of the PLF dregs. I actually don't. Was that referenced somewhere? Because I don't really know where that stands for specifically. Oh, I guess Paranormal Liberation Front.
Ding, 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 ding.
As well as ordinary citizens who sympathize with their cause. So it's a mixture of the army and just sympathizers, and that's a lot of people. You see, and they'll tell you, in total, a force of about 15,000 was dispatched. As they're like, move it! Make way! Surround them! Hold the line! Clear a path! There, the fight backwards some of the remaining heroes and police squads, only about 200 strong. As we have Present Mike in his panel right here. Who knew you were such a popular guy, Shirakumo? He really was there. Or, you know, they could just be like misleading us there. Yeah. Alright, Mark, you can go ahead.
Alright. Loud out the shout! As we see President Mike just absolutely blast the crowd with sound. He's like blah, as he just looks and sees they used someone as a meat shield, and that dude is suffering right now.
That dude's suffering in the club.
He's suffering in the glow right now as we see someone coming at present Mike with a trident.
Whoa.
Go to the next page. He's been saved by birds.
You already know.
It was Coda.
Nice job, Coda.
Are you okay, Sensei? Thanks, Enema. Where's Tentacle? We got split up in the chaos. We get to see the police right here. Squad leader, there are too many of them. We need backup. Well, we ain't getting any. Push back with those taser shields.
Taser shields. Yikes.
Crap, it's bad enough we're so short-handed. Now they're purposely splitting us up and isolating us. As we just see an absolute battlefield. We see Rocklock, he's just surrounded by the mutants.
Oh, I can't do anything. I feel bad.
These punks are way too organized for a random mob of rioters.
I agree.
Push, pin him down. The next page, we just see them with these shades of these guys right here going, "Shut up, you! Tie him up! Enough out of you! We ain't rioters! Get his hands! You people are always like this. Folks with human faces just don't get it."
Oh my god.
Rocklock just sitting there like, Jesus Christ.
They're like, run them hands! At least you have some! You're like, oh god!
Rocklock's just sitting there like, bro, you saying this to a man of a darker skin complexion. Come on now. It's like, I think Rocklock would I think he would get it in a sense.
Dude, like the perspective here. He's like, oh my god.
And then we see, triple them, move it, make way. Is they're all just coming through.
Oh no!
Coda's like, oh shit. Make way, move it, don't mess with us, stand aside. Coda gets his mask and his mask ripped off. He said, stop this. Why? Why are you doing this? Stop, please stop. Raised in a big city where says some rioter. You, traitor to your kind.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's that toxic mentality. Go, make a path, make way. Help our rep, push through. Get through. We're stronger than them. Liberation.
That's so crazy. Okay, I guess I'll take this one. I'm trying to remember who this dude is. I guess he's covering his face for a little bit, or her face. What's interesting, they got like the interesting like Doc Ock like one tentacle like tentacle arm thing, something like that, or even
kind of like,
or Spider-Man's Avenger suit, but with just one of them, one appendage. This person says, "Rage, good citizens. Today's your Independence Day." Jesus. Quirks, quirk counseling, quirk education, nothing but phony nonsense, all of it. We know this all too well because of the forms we bear. Jeez. The 6-6 incident, the great Jedi purge. What the hell's happening?
I get it. The Order 66 incident, the Great Jedi Purge.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Star Wars.
Oh my god, that's funny. The history of the paranormal is one of persecution and oppression for those who don't fit the mold. And what excuse was offered by those who joined in the slaughter of our kind? They give me the creeps, they said, sweeping all under the rug. These days, society has reflected and made amends. Or so they would have you believe. Sure, in dense cities, the populace is raised in a diverse melting pot. Where, though the wonders of education, discrimination is a thing of the past. But take a look beyond the cities. What do they still say there? As he takes off the mask. Have I seen this person before?
I don't remember him at all. I think he's new.
This is where She-Hulk comes up and she's like, "Hey, you remember this guy? You probably don't." Nah, this is... All right, I'll read these two pages here. In quotes, you give me the creeps. Not even the brightest light can illuminate every corner of the society. I may have... Yeah, I think it's like, it's still right from left, but the way that they're dividing up the panels is interesting.
No, I think you're good.
Oh, okay. Not even the brightest light can illuminate every corner of society. That light never shone upon those of us here today. We must find our own light in this world.
Yeah, that sounded about right.
And we got a shot of like the city, and it's still just mobs of people. They're saying, "Make way! We don't need you.
Make way."
The person continues, "If only I weren't born looking like this with this quirk." Have you ever thought that even once? Everyone's like, "Clear path, move it, let him through." We have this flag of Spinner that says Spinner speaks for us. No, he continues, you people are no heroes of ours. Instead, it will be him. It's just shows Spinner in like his Gojira form, like ripping off some like whatever cloths.
That's not cloth, that's just drool.
I was hoping not. Foam in the mouth, hat turned sideways. No, sorry, that's the wrong misuse of that. Win this. Get our rep through. But yeah, instead it'll be him who leads us to prominence in society. Yeah, go ahead.
We see him holding on to his stick of weapons, and he's just like, done.
Bruh.
What he saying? Ever since All for One gave me power, head getting fuzzier. We see that guy who's doing the speech. Hey, go on, rep. Whatever. Me just do what me told. Take back Korogiri.
Can I say real quick that shot of Spinner holding his swords is equivalent to Shaq holding a water bottle?
We see here Octo Blow.
That's crazy.
We got Shuji. He's just giving him the work. We see the guy who gets the speech like, Spinner, on rep. They're all going after Shuji. How freaking dare you! Kill the traitor! Crush the wannabe hero!
Oh, that's messed up.
We see Shuji. They're trying to get Shuji, but they got him pinned down.
I think it's Shoji, actually.
Shoji, you're right. Die, monster! What's any of that got to do with attacking the hospital? He makes a good point. The mutants are like, huh?
What?
Back in Jakku, the first thing the heroes did was take action to make sure the patients and staff were safe. But what about you guys? Go on! Tell me, do you have a plan here? We see a young Shoji.
Oh.
No matter how much society progresses, we'll never accept you and your kind. We see Shoji throwing them all off of him.
Woo.
You better. We see Shoji's mouth for the first time ever. Because if not, I won't let this stand.
Nicely done. Man, this was such a tone for a chapter. Oh my god. To think that they wrapped up the beginning of the chapter with that sheer like blunt discrimination, and I thought it was gonna be for Spinner. It was actually Shoji. I was like,
for all of them.
Essentially that's what it like represents too, but like
it's a very essentially what this is, because like if you see what even the guy who's giving the speech, he acknowledged that with education, of course, that discrimination tends to fade away. But of course, in other areas, there's not going to be as much education, and so you're going to have more ignorant people.
Right.
But with this, as you also see, this also represents another thing. Whereas if you're familiar with the two opposing theories or the two opposing philosophies of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, whereas Malcolm X was a more aggressive type of anti-racism, whereas Martin Luther King was more of a loving, passive anti-racism. And Shoji is making a lot of sense here when he says, like, what does anything that has to do with that like involve attacking a hospital? You're literally just acting out in rage and emotion.
Mm-hmm. Like he
And
acknowledged, yeah, he acknowledges the issues that they're all being plagued of, but also knowing the fact that like their goal is to go attack a hospital, and this is just kind of like their own means of justification for it. Maybe even
it's
not.
like,
It's just an
it's
opportunity for them
like
to lash out.
I know it's like, bro, look at what you're doing. It's like, you got to point it out to some people sometimes. It's like, I get why you're pissed. I get it. But look at what the fuck you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this definitely is a chapter that very much touches upon the side that we've heard about in My Hero of the mutant side. Like
Yeah,
this, I think this did a very good job of really putting it together
yeah.
because we've always
We've
I think
known
we've always
about it
wondered, we've
for a little.
heard little bits and pieces.
Yeah, and I guess to be fair, that's actually, I mean, this is kind of like hindsight bias, but it kind of makes sense because our perspective has only been like kind of within cities. So it wasn't really like that big of a topic. The only real location that I can only go based off of the anime for this one. I didn't read the manga version, but remember that class 1A well, a portion of them went shopping at a mall, right? This is when Shigaraki was kind of figuring himself out. He came across Deku, like wrapped his arm around him, and just like had this like conversation, trying to find his own means of like becoming a villain.
Oh yeah,
And
that panel, that creepy ass smile.
yeah, and you notice that prior to all that, they arrive at the mall, and you see like panning shots of different types of clothing that kind of adheres to different types of like mutations. So
Yeah, because like they have to in order to be able to fit.
right, which like for us, it's like yeah, that's a no brainer, of course. But the other hint was like what was it when Hato actually asked about the mask real quick, and that was all we got out of it. And like that's kind of where it just kind of like died from there. Other than that,
Yeah, when they asked about why Shoji wears the mask.
right after that, I think it was only like really quick hints with Spinner specifically. Like he may have like mentioned it like here and there, but like nothing to like really elaborate on. And this is putting in the forefront of the readers that yes, like
Well,
this.
there's also Tokoyami.
Yeah, well, yeah. I just don't remember if there was anything specific about him and like his him growing up. If that was ever a real issue.
Yeah, because I mean, he technically is a mutant
Yeah, and so was
because
yeah, so
he's got
was
the burn head.
Coda as well.
Yeah, they're both like he, Shoji, and I mean even Ojiro
Yeah, even like our tailman dude is like yeah.
is considered a mutant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then of course like Principal Nezu is like
He's absolutely a mutant.
he's absolutely just a mutant, or rather, well, it's kind of interesting with him because he's just straight up an animal, but with the
He's a
quirk.
mouse.
But I guess like in that sense is also a mutant, and we kind of just accepted it because it was just a normal thing. But now they're talking about like some like history that even we weren't really aware of. I mean, we make jokes about the fact that it's a reference, but the 6-6 incident, the Great Jeddah Purge, is though it is a reference, it's also now part of that history that relates to mutants. So
Yeah, like I mean that's the thing when you refer to the Great Jedi Purge, of course, it's in reference to Order 66, which he calls the 6-6 incident. That's
mhm,
when Palpatine used a command that brainwashed the clones to basically launch a full out assault on every single Jedi.
mhm.
And it did a pretty strong job killing almost every single Jedi. Almost every single
Almost
Jedi.
all of them.
Some survived.
But yeah, so right now what we're witnessing in this chapter is just like the forefront of pretty much mutants rebelling, and I'm pretty sure this is all part of like All For One's plan, hence why like he has like had Spinner lead this in this new form where he could barely like make logic.
Oh, mirror. I guess yeah, that is true though. Jiro would also be considered a mutant.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, her because of her ears, like
Yeah,
the jack. Yeah, those are definitely mutations.
this is true. So there is a lot of like, there's a huge spectrum as far as like
What's considered
what's,
mutant?
yeah.
It's like how in let's say like Marvel for example, mutants are humans that got their powers just through genetic mutations,
Hmm.
or like say for example the Hulk. The Hulk's a mutant.
Yeah. But yeah.
Same thing goes for all the X-Men. They're all mutants.
Hmm. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? No, I think the chapter has said it best. I think Shoji kind of being like the key point in just kind of shaping or shocking, um, like the other side, the opposing side, was like very important as far as just like, addressing like all this, or well, I wouldn't say wrapping it up right now because I think they're still in the middle of conflict, and I don't think even after this, um, this observed like oppression that we see for the mutants probably won't like let up, but that is definitely one of those that will be like a thing of conversation and discussion, and like within that world as well. Like this is one of those things that's written in history, not just as far as like All For One like doing like the worst stuff in like Japan, but also the fact that we actually have now, in addition to the 6-6 and the Jeddah Purge, we just have like this riot. Although for the case of just saving Kurogiri, um, they're also using it as a front to address this in a violent way. And I guess really just to make a statement about like working together, solidarity to like oppose a norm. So I could see some justification there, but of course it's just like this is not the right way to address it. And
Yeah,
showed
it's
you.
like the anger is understandable, but it's not at all acceptable.
Mm-hmm. And Shoji knows this and kind of just acts as like the actual like person with reason while also throwing a lot of hands. I gotta give him credit. Like we have a big Hulk sized like spinner, and he does octo blow, and like it curves it curves spinner a little bit.
Spinner said, "Oh,"
Like oh,
he said, "Oh shit."
it was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So there's the other front. I'm glad that they showed this because I was really wondering about that. But now I wonder. Well, actually, this is a really good way to connect the previous chapter to this one because obviously, All For One has other like fronts to address, but we it's literally like Shoji representing like the new generation to kind of like hold down the fort, and he's doing pretty well so far, even if he is getting beat up a little bit.
Even if he is getting beat, pretty bad.
Yeah, so I mean, granted, Dabi's like risen up a little bit, but otherwise Shoto is leading the charge, or at least making moves here and there. Shoji's also doing the same thing too. Jiro had like a really well hit her and Tokiyami as well, helping out, fighting the other All For One. Prior to him reverting back using Ares quirk. So yeah, I'm really glad to see Class 1A like put in a lot of effort, and I think there's still a couple other fronts too. Obviously, we have like Araka and Froppy, but we also have the one with Aoyama as well, with Fatcom, I believe. So I'm really curious about that. So I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah. So when's the next chapter? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna eat it. Whoa, 7 days. Nice.
All right, regular time.
Cool. That'll be 371. For now, I think we're good. Mark, is there anything else you want to add before we call?
No, I think not at all.
Yeah, this is a solid chapter, but it was definitely one of those shell-shocking ones where, like, if you're not ready for it, it's gonna like
It's
sneak up on.
rough. It's
Yeah,
rough.
it's real rough. I'm not even. I
I think
don't
it's
even.
because I think this is gonna touch. It's probably gonna be a touch base with a lot of people.
I think so. Right now, I haven't even like looked at the comments on this chapter, like on the page, but I'm kind of afraid to look at it.
That's because I feel like well, this discrimination, it can happen in so many different ways that I think
Hmm.
almost everyone can have experienced discrimination in some way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
So I think almost anybody could really relate because whether it be through class, whether it be through race, whether it be through religion, whether it be through anything, really, you can experience discrimination in some sense.
Yeah, even if you don't really notice it too. That's the scary ones. But yeah, all right, we'll go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see everybody in the next chapter read. That'll be next week with 371. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Hashtag bye, everyone.